Joe, I guess right now the overriding emotion is just to be pleased that you're playing some football.
Yeah, definitely. It's been quite frustrating the early stages of me coming in. I wanted to make an impression and got the injury before the season started, so I'm just really happy to be back on the pitch, and hopefully I can make some contribution this weekend.
I suppose when you're on the sidelines and the team's doing really well, you can support them. When they're not doing so well, the one thing as a footballer you want to do, you want to contribute, you want to make a difference. I suppose that was an extra frustration.
Yeah, exactly. I could see the run we're going through was tough, and like you said, all you want to do is help, and it's hard being on the sidelines, but I'm trying to look forward now and put that behind me and try and help the team as quickly as I can.
Of course, getting fit as far as getting over your injury is one thing. Getting fully match fit takes a little bit of time. How close do you feel you are to that?
It's hard to gauge, in training. I've played a few minutes, not a lot, but I think I can only really tell once I start playing more minutes. I feel good in training, but playing games are completely different. But I'm confident in myself that I can get up to speed pretty quick.
And I suppose it is, from the management perspective, it's about just easing you in to a certain extent. You don't want to aggravate anything. You want to make sure that you are ready when you do get that start and maybe play 90 minutes.
Yeah, definitely. I've been eased in quite nicely so far. I've come off the bench a couple of times, and we'll take it from here now. And but the injury feels fine, so I'm happy to do whatever the manager wants me to do now.
One of the issues as far as injuries this season has been in the front position, in the forward positions. Does that add any extra pressure on you to kind of get back as quickly as possible and give Russell another option?
We always had a plan in place in terms of when I was going to come back, so I wasn't rushed back. Everything went well in terms of the timescale, but I put pressure on myself anyway, whether there's injuries up top or not, to score goals and to contribute. So I wouldn't say there's any more added pressure, because that's sort of pressure I put on myself.
Just explain to me, if you can, how much a win would mean to the team. Yeah. I mean, I think everyone knows what it would mean to the fans, but what would it mean to the team to get a win?
Yeah, it would be huge. It would be great to get it this weekend, just to give us a little boost, going into next weekend as well, which is another big game, and then there's no game after that. So it'd be good to get a really positive result this weekend.
Has the transition between Paul Tisdale and Russell Martin been a good one? Yeah,
it's been really smooth. Obviously he was one of the players not so long ago, so now for him to go into manager, I've never experienced it before, but it's been really good, very professional, and training's been really, really good as well.
From his perspective, he feels as if the whole team have supported him. It is a tricky transition to go from being somebody's colleague to being their boss. It can be difficult, and I suppose it relies on the players to help him through that as well.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of firsts here for him as well now coming as a manager, but it's a great opportunity for him, and especially at a club like this. And the positive is that he knows all the players already, so there's not that sort of bedding in period. Obviously it's a bit different with him now being on the other side, being the manager, but so far it's been really good.
Just finally on Bolton, but a really weird position for them to be in, so far behind. Most people just writing them off this season, saying they're going to go down, and perhaps they could, who knows. They could miracles do happen sometimes. It will be interesting to come up against a team like that, because they're fighting, aren't they? But they almost can't win.
Yeah, it is strange, but they've actually got a good team. They've got some really, really good experienced players as well. So I think earlier on in the season they were playing with pretty much a youth team, and now they've sort of they've got a brand new team. So it's going to be different to, I think, the Bolton earlier on in the season completely. It'll be a tough game.
I said finally. I've got a finally. Yeah. The fans, obviously they're down. Obviously they're frustrated. Yeah. They're nervous. Obviously they've seen a relegation recently, and they don't want it to happen again. How important is it that the fans? I know it's a very obvious question I'm asking, but how important is it that the fans stick with the team and support them throughout?
Yeah, it's vital. They're massive for us, especially when we're going through a period like this, and they can make things a little bit easier for us when they are behind us. And so far they've been great from what I've seen. So if they can stick for us for this period, and I'm sure we'll get through it, it'll be all right.
There's never a good time to get injured, but probably the weekend before the season starts probably couldn't get a lot worse than that.
Yeah, that's probably the worst time you could get, especially coming to a new team. We were all excited for the new season to start, and the injury just is sort of a little bit of a freak injury as well, the way it happened. So really frustrating.